Hi everyone, welcome to Book Review Sunday. I have a really great book, so come on in and let's get started. The book that I'm reviewing today is Sugar and Spite by USA Today best-selling author Samantha Price. Look at this beautiful book. This is book number 22 in the series Addie Smith Amish Mysteries. I absolutely love it. Look at how pretty. I love that color, the way that it pops out at you. And it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Look at the back. Isn't this gorgeous? I love the way that she used the black and the white back there. And then look at that large print on the inside, which I really, really liked. Now, I'm going to read this to you. Now, remember that this mystery is going to be about a lady that owned a candy store. A candy shop. Her name is Ron Hildy Hoffman. And this is what Samantha wrote on the back of her book. Now remember, it is a candy store, so listen closely to what I read to you. When elderly Amish widows Addie Smith and her sister visit Ron Hildy's Hoffman's to see why she was having a rocky road, they found themselves in a sticky murder mystery. Ron Hildy was dead. Even though Eddie's sister didn't want a bar of it, Eddie had to find out why things had turned sour for the prophylactic candy maker. The one thing that had them glazed over was who could have wanted the Amish candy shop owner dead. When it came to its crunch, was it possible Brunhilde wasn't as sweet and soft-centered as she made it out to be? There you go. Now, if that's not about candy, nothing else is. All right, guys, let me tell you about this book, besides it being a really fantastic book. I have to say, Samantha Price really outdid herself on this book. Not only do we have one mystery, we have two. And they're both murders. Did the same person murder both these ladies? Well, I guess we're going to find out, right? All right, so let me tell you about it. There's some new characters, and then we're going to talk first about the three characters who are always in the book, which are Addie Smith, her sister, Elsa Mae Lutz, and their dog Snowy, and Detective Kelly. Now, if you go back on some of my books that I have reviewed in the series before, you will hear about these same three people. Very quirky characters, but I love them, love them, love them. I love Samantha's books because when she has the sisters bickering back and forth to each other, or the two sisters and Detective Kelly are having a discussion and they start bickering a little bit amongst the three of them, there's humor, and that's what I look for in a book, some humor. This is the book you want to read. She really, really did an excellent job, and I give her a thumbs up on this book. Now, there's a new person in the book, a new character, and her name is Nancy Dillard, and her friend/agent is Rita. Now, Rita has been on Nancy about writing. She wants Nancy to write more books. She said, you don't need to do a romance. Nancy had stopped writing for a while because her husband was ill. She stopped to take care of him, and unfortunately he passed away. And during her grieving process, Nancy just could not write. So now Rita is telling her, okay, now you need to start writing again just to help yourself move forward. So she, is telling her, we need to get you some more bestsellers. It sounded like Rita was in trouble with money. It sounded like, because the way that she was, telling Nancy, we need you to write, we need you to write, we need you to write. She wasn't looking at this woman had lost her husband a few years earlier. She was looking at money. So, now, the next thing is who killed Brunhilde? Now, there's several people. It could be her husband. It could be because, one, he was mad at her because she wouldn't sign any divorce papers. And he went from being an Englisher to being in the Amish community, leaving the Amish community as soon as he married Ron Hildy, and going back to the English community. Now, so he was mad at her for that. Plus, where was Ron Hildy getting all this money? Was she doing laundry moneying with him? What the heck was going on? Now, she was coming up with money to give loans out, to give to people who were in need, and if they paid back, fine, but that was it. Then there was his new wife, and yes, I did say new wife, who was also mad at Ron Hildy because she wouldn't sign the divorce papers. Because at this point, Douglas has 2 wives, and that's called a bigamist, and he could be in trouble. So she needed those divorce papers signed, or Ron Hildy dead. Okay. Then there's her sister, Griselda, and she does the book work for the candy shop. But Ron Hildy don't pay her. She will buy things for her, or she'll buy food, but to give her a paycheck, she won't do it. Now, her sister's son, who just came back from staying in the English community for a while, he was Amish, and then he went over to the English community, and then he came back. He may have a reason to kill Ron Hildy, but I didn't pick up on it. But you never know, because he could be upset with her for not paying his mother, right? Okay, then there's a customer that she has. And he's letting it be known throughout the community that he's very upset with this lady because his wife is always buying her favorite candy only at Ron Hildy's shop, and she always has allergic reactions to it. And he thinks that Ron Hildy is putting an ingredient into the candy that is making his wife have these allergical reactions. And Ron Hildy's telling him, no, I'm not. So he's tired of his wife every day from morning till night always nagging him. Now, in this book, Samantha Price has not 1, but 2 mysteries, because there's 2 murders. One murder is of Mrs. Belcher, and the other murder, of course, is of Ron Hildy Hoffman. And now we know the reasons why. But there's one other person. Could this person want her dead? And he is a newcomer to the police department, and his name is Sergeant Finger. Now, when the elderly ladies find Ron Hildy dead in the candy shop, they brought a cake with them to share with Ron Hildy. And when Eddie saw the body, she dropped the cake, which contaminated the crime scene. But she also found a small black cell phone that wouldn't belong to Ron Hildy because they can't have phones, but it could belong to the murderer. So she put it in her pocket to give to Detective Kelly. Now, Detective Kelly is out in the parking lot talking to Nancy, Dillard, and Rita because he was a fan of Nancy's, and that she's the one who inspired through her stories him to become a detective. So after he gets Nancy and Rita on their way, he goes into the store where Eddie gives him the phone, and he just tells Sergeant Finger to take the phone, who then takes it from Eddie and puts his own fingerprints all over it. So what good is that going to do now? Then it gets lost in the property room. Okay, this is not good. Now, Eddie and Elsa May, their job is to question everyone in the Amish community and then report back to Detective Kelly. Now, Detective Kelly has been giving Nancy, who is an author, some information on this case in hopes that she will write a book about this case. So when she wants to meet with the two ladies, and the two ladies are like, no, 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 no. But they do have an incident where they do meet and they become investigators, as to say, together, without letting Detective Kelly know. So, now we have two murders, several people who want this lady dead, evidently. So, after all of their investigation, now you have to remember, when they found Ron Hildy, her arm was out straight and it was curved to, like if it was pointing. Now, what did they find on the shelves that were across from her, that was across from her body? Was it money? Was it any type of ledgers that could show where she was getting all this money and spending it? She was giving loans out. She was giving money to the needy and not getting paid back. I don't think Douglas was too happy about that if he was the one who was giving her the money. Right? Okay, now. The one thing that they found out was that Douglas, Tommy, and Sergeant Finger all had something in common, and that is that they all belonged to a medieval society club that had access to swords. So is it one of these three that killed Ron Hildy? Now let's go back over to Nancy, because the one day that Rita comes over to visit Nancy, she has all this new jewelry on, a beautiful brand new watch, gorgeous, new jewelry and new clothes. Here's a lady who didn't have any money. She needs this book to be written so she can get her agent's fee out of the money. Oh well. Now, the night that you have to be invited to the candy store, because all of the investigating is done, and Elsa May and Eddie and Detective Kelly know who the murderers are. So they invite all of the people I mentioned, and they say, look around you, because the murderer is here. One of you are the murderer. Now, then, let's start with Mrs. Belcher. Who killed her and why? Who would want to kill this innocent lady who loved her chocolates and was having allergic reactions because somebody was putting something in the candy to kill her, but yet when they did a test on the candy, it came back negative for the ingredient that they thought was killing her, that was causing these reactions. We'll come back to her. But I will tell you this, before they announce the killer of Ron Hildy, they do make an arrest on Mrs. Belcher's murder. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. And I'm not going to tell you who's left in the circle, in the group of the circle, because then you would know who the killer was for Mrs. Belcher. Now, who killed Ron Hildy? Well, Eddie said, when I call your name, please stand up because you are the killer. And everybody's looking around at each other like, who could it be? Now the killer is looking like, oh God, I hope they're not going to say my name. But they did. And guess what? You'll never believe who it is, because I did not believe it at the end either. Now, Samantha really, really put a lot of twists and turns in this book, and she also disguised the murderer so you didn't even know that it was the person. But I'm going to tell you what, and here's who the murderer was for Mrs. Belcher and for Ron Hildy. You have to read the book to find out, because I know, but I'm not going to tell you. So I hope that you will buy the book. You can get it on Amazon. I hope that you will like the book as much as I did. I hope you enjoyed my book review today. And that's it for my review, guys. I know who the murderers are. And so does Samantha Price. And I can't wait for book 23 to come out, and I hope it's soon. I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Samantha Price, you really outdid yourself. My review is that I would buy this book for gifts. I obviously have one. This book is a fantastic book. The whole series is fantastic. If you're looking for some good gifts to buy, these are the books to buy. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. And I'll be back with another book review hopefully soon. Take care. Bye.